If you have access to Waves plugins, there's a big possibility that you have the Impusher. And today I'm going to show you how you can use the Impusher to achieve pro quality mastering in a couple of minutes. Just one plugin. This is a plugin that I mostly just use as part of my mastering chain, but you can actually achieve great mastering very quickly with this plugin, especially if you're somebody that is doing daily beat uploads to your stores, right? You want to make sure you are moving very quickly. And by the way, this plugin has been available for more than 7 years, so it's not a new plugin, but it's very, very effective. We are going to use it to master this beat, right, and take it from where it is right now to something loud and punchy and thick and everything that you normally hope to get with mastering. All right, so this is the Impusher. One thing I need you to know before you even begin your mastering is that you have to make sure you have good enough headroom for your mastering process, right? And -6 dB, -5 dB, these are like good places to be, because then you have enough headroom to do all the mastering process. And one way you can actually do that, aside paying attention to the master channel, is by using like a VU meter at the top of your mastering chain to monitor the level of your beat or your record. If you set the headroom to 18, it's equal to 0, which is also equal to -6 dB. You want to make sure that at the loudest part of your music, the VU meter is not going above 0 dB. I guess it can go above 0 dB a little bit, but it must not be like resting on the red, right? That would indicate that you are clipping. Right, as you can see. Right, so we're just barely kissing the bread, basically. And that means we have enough headroom to do our mastering, which is very, very important. Let's talk about the plugin real quick. We have high. This is for all of the high frequencies. Now, magic represents the high mid frequencies. Body represents the low mid frequencies. And low, self-explanatory, represent the low frequencies. And then you have your input. I guess you might use this if you don't have enough headroom and you want to give yourself some headroom to work with. But it's better if you have enough headroom from your mixing stage already, so you don't have to mess with this. And then you have a stereo imager to increase the stereo width of your track. And you have push, which serves as your clipper/limiter. The plugin has 2 modes. You can select either clipper or limiting mode to work with. Most of the time, you might be able to get the desired loudness with just using the clip mode. But usually my mastering chain, I just use the clip mode, and then I use far filter L2 limiter to do the limiting. So let's mess around with this and see what we come up with. Let's start with the highs. I mean, you can hear that it already makes the track sounds a lot brighter. All the decisions you will make for your mastering will be based on personal preference. So you have to use your ear and decide what you like and decide what works for your record, okay? So let's take this down a little bit. I think that's too much for me. I'm just going to leave this at maybe, I think 5 sounds good, right? Okay, so let's go over to our high mids, right? Let's add some magic. I like the sound of that. Ooh. Before, after, it just makes the sound come alive, basically. And then you also have these other features. You have dynamic punch, and then you have focus. These 2 modes are also to enhance your high mid frequencies. Play around with these and see if you like how it sounds. All right, so let's go. Dynamic punch. Not bad. Just leave it at, let's put this to 5 maybe. And then focus. I like that too, but I think I prefer this more. So I'm not going to mess around with the focus. Again, play around these parameters and see what you come up with. Let's add somebody. Actually sounds really nice. It makes it sound very thick. But I'm going to pull back just a little bit. I think this is 5. Right? And then there's another thing I like about this low frequency boost that they have here. You can actually make adjustment based on the root key of the beat. Let's say this beat was done in the key of D. I can select the key and then do my bass boost based on that. I could also decide to ignore the key and just focus on the bass frequencies that I want to boost. Can't remember what key this beat is on, but let me see. Let's check. Let's do the boost based on the key. We can decide if we like the way it sounds or not. That's C sharp. Yeah, C sharp. Let's go over to C sharp. That would be 69 hertz. All right. I mean, that's very, very thick. I think I like that, but also I'm going to just pull back a little bit so that it's not too much. I think somewhere around here is good, right? I mean, we've barely spent like 5 minutes, right? And we already made a very decent sounding master. So let's go over to push and increase our levels so that we can get the loudness to competitive levels. Let's try the clip mode first. I think we're already getting like -6 dB of gain reduction. You can see here. You can look it down here. You see the number. All right, let's try limiting mode. Basically, the difference between clipping and limiting is this. Clipping just cuts off the peak, right? Just chops it off, while limiting will try to reduce the peak. This is actually the reason why it's good to use a clipper first before you do some limiting. Because with clipping, you would have chopped up most of the peaks so that when you are doing your limiting, you're not going to be affecting the peaks that much. That way you can get your song to be really, really loud without turning down the transients. I don't know if that makes sense. So I'm going to use the clip mode, and if I don't get the desired loudness, I'm going to then use a limiter to make the song louder, right? So let's go. I mean, this is pretty loud though. Oh, there's something I forgot, to stereo imaging. Let's add some stereo width to our beat, right? Yeah, that's wide. Actually sounds very good. But let me pull back a little bit. Yeah. When it comes to mastering, to be honest, less is more. You just want to do little bit of everything to enhance a mix that's already great. So far, I think we already have a decent sounding master, but if we wanted to make it louder, then we'll use a limiter to still push up the level a little bit more. I'm going to just use Fruity Limiter. In your own case, you can decide to maybe listen to something that's out there and compare the loudness to yours and boost till you can match the level of your reference track. Do you understand what I'm saying? Personally, I already kind of have an idea of how loud I want this to be. So I usually might not do any referencing with any track that's out there. So let's make this louder. It's as easy as just increasing the gain. But there you have it. In my opinion, this is a very competitive sound. It's loud, it's thick, it's clear, it's rich, and just from mainly one plugin. Again, you need to bear in mind that it's important that you have enough headroom before you begin your mastering process so you can have a transparent sound. You can use a VU meter to check your levels, make sure you're not going above 0. Or you can just look at the master channel on the Fruity mixer. Make sure you're not going above -6. That's before your mastering process, right? Now that we've done the mastering process, if I play, you see that we are getting to 0. That's where we want to be anyway, so we don't want to go above 0. Good sound selection, decent headroom before you hit the mastering stage. And when you get to the mastering stage, with just the Impusher, you can achieve great sounding masters very, very quickly. Like I said, if you're making beats every day to upload to your stores, this is like one way to make sure you're constantly putting out banging sounds very, very quickly too. But that's it for this one. I hope you got something from this. If you did, make sure you leave me a like and subscribe if you've not. And if you need to book my services for mixing and mastering in stereo and Dolby Atmos, Atmos, as usual, I'm going to have the link down below to my engineers page so you can go book my services. And if you're a music producer, an artist, and you want to record yourself and you have Logic, I have link below to a free Logic recording template with an Afrobeat preset in it, all stock plugins, okay? And if you've not listened to the Project Atmos EP, the link's also down there below. So that's going to be it for now, man. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I'll see you on the next one. Benny McCauley out.